I would even say, my first setback as president this week. Now, the fake news media will say, oh, but the economy's tanking and you're destroying government and poor people are dying and violence is still tremendous in the Middle East and Ukraine, and you've basically actually accomplished nothing and passed no legislation despite uh, having both branches of government very strongly, and that the Supreme Court and other courts are smacking the crap out of you. But those are all fake news. I say this to my supporters, knowing that you will never listen to anything that I don't pre approve. Everything's fine. Everything here is fine. It's getting better. The Get your eyesight checked if you look at the price of eggs and it looks higher, because it's actually lower, and your mortgage is going down and your bank account is going up, but the radical left is might be using sorcery. And I'm talking to my strong evangelicals who believe nothing that Jesus said or did, but do believe that the radical left is using witchcraft. Uh, I think they're playing tricks on you and using magic spells and witchcraft to make you think things are worse when they're actually great. And this is your president saying this to you, and I wouldn't lie. I would actually tell the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth, which is what I would have said if I had taken the stand in any of my trials, but I pled the fifth, which I used to say is something only a guilty person would do until I did it. And now I say that is a wrong statement, not because I was wrong, but because it's now wrong. Okay? But I had my first setback, and it's because my great friend and a great leader and a smart, tough guy, Vlad Putin, decided to murder more Ukrainians. He was murdering them before, and we were okay with that. But now he's making me look bad, because I said I would bring peace in 24 hours, which of course was a joke. People know me as a very strong president when it comes to humor. But I said we'd have a ceasefire, and I was basically saying to Vlad, Ukraine, I will force Ukraine to give you the territory you've taken, and they won't join NATO. And I won't let their president, who's a comedian, tour any American comedy clubs. And, if you want to sort of peacefully assassinate him after the peace agreement, I'm not going to stop you. In fact, I don't even like the guy. So, or if you want to send him to Bukele's or Bukaki's prison in El Salvador, that would be okay as well. And instead, Vlad took my very generous offer and killed more Ukrainians. And so I am mad at Vlad. Sort of rhymes, so it's it's like sort of, I almost do branding by accident a lot of times. That's why my supporters always say, "Let's go branding," when at my rallies, because they love their president's branding. But what we're going to do now is we're going to have a talk with Vlad Putin, where I am going to see what I can do to make him feel better. And I may even make a sad face in front of him to see if he feels guilty. And then I'm going to say, you know what? I might have to look for a new best. They say strong men don't cry, which is why I don't cry. But it's sad when you spend so much on Russian prostitutes, when you sell out world peace and democracy to help your friend who's struggling, and when you even turn your back on the United States intelligence apparatus. They call it an apparatus, it's a nice word, is apparatus. It's a very fancy way of saying this stuff. But when you say that you trust him over you, that's almost like saying when you tell a side chick that you love her more than your wife. It's a very sacred bond between a man and his adulterous lover. It's a very sacred bond. It's in the Bible. Trump Bible with Lee Greenwood. Obviously, that's the only sort of Bible we do citations with. And for him to still make me look somewhat foolish, is such a deep betrayal. So I'm going to ask him what he wants, how I can make him happy. Me and Vlad, we have, it reminds me of another romantic relationship. We have a very strong sort of Shannon Sharp type love relationship, where I'm sort of the submissive. He dominates me with his strong Russian strength. And we do have videotapes of it as well. If you were in Helsinki during my first term, you saw me get dominated very strongly, very submissive. I should have done OnlyFans. Look at the woman who's suing Shannon Sharp. She's doing OnlyFans. If I had put that Vlad Putin dominates bitch Trump on OnlyFans, it would break the internet. I would have probably paid off the Russian mob and the national debt with all the strong money that would have come in for Trump OnlyFans. And I'm still trying to get Ivanka to sign up for OnlyFans, but she's like, oh, daddy. And I say, well, I love it when you call me daddy, but she's sort of refusing to be a strong sexual entrepreneur like her stepmom, Mesopotamia, my beautiful soon-to-be ex-wife. But the point is, I'm going to Russia. I'm going to talk to Vlad, find out what he needs. And, I hope we can keep this strong friendship, this dom submissive relationship that we have going, because it would be very it would be sad, and not in a sort of like radical left, you use the wrong pronoun sort of sad, which would be, now I'm getting the boogers from the tears like Viola Davis. You ever see Viola Davis when she cries? I think she might be the greatest tear person, because she not only does she have those big eyes that pour those big tears out, but when she cries, she creates tremendous amounts of emotional acting boogers, and that's when you know somebody's really upset. And I feel the emotional boogers coming through, because Vlad and I had something special. It's very special what we had, and he's trying to ruin it. And I won't let him. I won't let him. He can't do that to me. I'm a president, and also I'm a best friend, and I've let him do so many things to me. I've let him, just debase me and make me his bitch, and that's okay when it's in a relationship. But if you're being used and you're not being respected anymore, as a man, obviously you can do this to women anytime you want, but as a man, to use me like that is, it's almost unforgivable. But I will forgive him if he lets me do strong business deals and other things, and gives me a safe place to live. If the Democrats take over and decide to uphold rule of law once again, which is a classic radical left move, by the way, a sort of such a rule of law. How convenient is it that rule of law and the Constitution always manage to get me in trouble? How about that? You think that's a coincidence? No, I don't think so. I think that's totally planned by the radical left Democrats. So Vlad, please stop hurting me. I mean, in the bad way. You can always hurt me in good ways, you know that. But please don't hurt me. Please, let's like that Black Al Green. His name should have probably been Al Black, but they called him Al Green. Not the one who was rude during my speech, but the singer Black. Let's stay together, okay? And maybe we could have Kid Rock redo the song so it's done properly by a non-DEI performer. Thank you.